Good evening and thank you for joining us. SaskTel wireless customers will want to double-check last month's phone bills. The company says the recent installment of a new network hardware and systems upgrade has caused approximately 9,000 customers to be billed incorrectly. Now, affected customers' rates may have been charged at U.S. data rates. Now, the company says the charges may range from a few cents to as high as $100,000. Now, the errors occurred on the billing period between November 23rd to the 29th. SaskTel is working on automatically issuing credits to those customers' accounts with incorrect data charges. Now, those affected will automatically receive a credit adjustment on their December bill. They will not be required to make a payment on their November bill, and SaskTel will waive any late payment and interest fees. Now, the company says affected customers will receive a phone call and a letter from them. So if you don't hear from them, that means your bill is correct. For more information, you can log on to their website at sasktel.com. Shopping for a new tree this Christmas? Well, your purchase of a real or fake tree could help several local families move into a new home. Habitat for Humanity on the border is in the process of executing one of their biggest builds to date and have started a Christmas fundraiser to help boost those numbers. Now, they've partnered with Home Depot to raise money for Forester Place, a 7-townhouse build. Elise Cox has more.
Christmas trees are lining the walls here at Home Depot, but this year, a portion of their sales will go to help out a local fundraiser.
It's $1 for every tree that's sold, and then as a store in Lloydminster, we're going to match the $1. Therefore, Habitat for Humanity will get $2 for every tree that's sold.
And the fundraiser could not have come at a better time for our local Habitat for Humanity chapter. The organization broke ground on their latest project 2 months ago. Forester Place is a multi-unit townhouse complex and will house 7 families. The build is one of their biggest to date.
We're in the early process. We've got some of the early digs done, just finishing up the last permitting.
Habitat is still looking for about $400,000 to complete the build, and the proceeds from this fundraiser will go directly to Forester Place.
We want to help give people a hand up to have their own home, get them out of there's some really old houses and poor living condition in Lloyd. It's really nice if we can get them into some newer houses.
We believe in giving back to the community, and Habitat for Humanity has been a strong organization for us to work with building homes for families.
The Forester Place build is expected to be completed in the next year. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
A winter wonderland has touched down in Vermilion over the past several days. The town is celebrating winter by hosting a nearly 2-week fair. Now, dozens of events are taking place, including ice sculpting.
Just pick up a chisel once and you're hooked sometimes.
Stuart Bala is creating a masterpiece made out of ice. Now, ice carving is an art form that requires precision and, of course, the right conditions. Bala is creating a carving of Old Man Winter blowing through out of a 9-block piece of ice. He says ice sculpting is an addicting hobby.
I've been doing it about 6 years, but I think I assisted someone about 15 years ago and swore I'd never do it again, but time changed.
And if you still want to catch some of the action, Vermilion's Winter Fair wraps up tomorrow night. Moving over to sports now, the Lloydminster Bandits taking on the best team in the league.
Yeah, tough task last night at the Civic Center. Cold Lake had beat them both meetings earlier this season. 1-1 early on in this game. Ice retake the lead when TJ Cunningham is left all alone in the slot. It's 2-1 just 4 minutes in. 35 seconds later, Brody Pollard scores while being hauled down. That ties the game up. Later in the frame, Bandits, they'll go on the power play. Pollard goes cross ice to Dakota Tututsis, who has a wide open net, giving Lloyd their first lead of the game. 2 minutes after that goal, Bandits a man down. Brant Kolibaba splits the D and goes backhand, giving the home side a 4-2 advantage. But just 16 seconds later, Matt Lavicane gets it under the arm of Brett Galanowski, making it 4-3 in a wild first period. Midway through the second, Nico Bourget tees one up for Christian Nypower. Cold Lake evens it up at 4. Shortly after, Dallas Ansel with all kinds of time snipes it home. Ice 5-4 lead. In the third, puck bounces right to Ansel, who puts in his second of the night. Cold Lake now up by a pair, 7-4. Bandits back on the power play. Riley McNabb tips home the blast from the point, 7-5 game. Then on another power play, Todd McNaughton at the circle goes over the glove. Bandits within 1, 7-6. but that's as close as they would get as they got robbed with 11 seconds to play. Cold Lake wins the 1-goal game. The Bandits are at home again tonight against the Killam Wheat Kings. And also in AJHL action, the Lloydminster Bobcats are on the road against the Fort McMurray Oil Barons for the first in a 2-game series. The Bobcats have had success against the Mob this year, picking up a pair of wins against the second last place team in the north. Elsewhere, the Bonnyville Pontiacs will try to find some more separation from Whitecourt in the north standings tonight as they take on the Calgary Canucks. The Canucks have the 3rd worst offense in the league.